And buenos dias. I am Abu Sha'b and welcome back for another lesson in Puerto Rican Express, the fastest way to fluency. This morning we're going to take a look at some bad people, mala gente. Here's some bad people from my neighborhood that we'll look at in the second part. First of all, I'd like to recommend a song that kind of accompanies the idea behind this video as Mala Gente by Colombian singer, songwriter, and guitarist Juanes. Mala Gente, Juanes. I'd put a link in right here, but I don't know how to do that. Links are for sausages and chains, not for this video. Mala gente. When we say mala gente like that in Spanish with the adjective before the verb, we're saying it with a special indignation, and we mean really bad people. Mala gente. Ordinary bad people is gente mala, gente mala. Mala gente could be involved in some bad things such as crime. Crime in Spanish, as in the crime, is el crimen. El crimen ocurrió anoche. The crime occurred last night. You can also hear the word delito to say crime in Spanish. And in some countries, la fechoría is misdemeanor or a less serious crime. La fechoría. When we talk about crime in general, the collective idea, criminality, we talk about la criminalidad. La criminalidad. Hay mucha criminalidad in San Juan. There's a lot of crime in San Juan. Hay mucha criminalidad in San Juan. There's a lot of crime in San Juan. Now, the crime rate, la tasa de criminalidad, la tasa de criminalidad. La tasa, the rate. When we're talking about sociological or economic contexts, we say la tasa, birth rate, death rate, interest rate. La tasa is also the teacup. This is tea, el té. This is green tea. Este es el té verde. This is the green tea. Té verde. La tasa de la criminalidad. La tasa de criminalidad, crime rate. La tasa can also mean a measurement, 1 cup. 1 cup. Una taza de azúcar, 1 cup of sugar. Una taza de azúcar, a cup of sugar. To steal in Spanish, robar. Robar. This is general. All stealing is robar. Theft of movable property is usually hurtar, the verb hurtar. Autos hurtados, stolen cars. Autos hurtados, stolen cars. Thief in Spanish, in standard Spanish, is a very unusual word, el ladrón. This is not related to the verbs at all, el ladrón or la ladrona. In Puerto Rican Spanish, to steal something is pillar. Pillar is really to pinch. But in Puerto Rican Spanish, colloquial Spanish, it's to steal, pillar. And a thief in Puerto Rico is un pillo or una pilla. Un pillo or una pilla, a thief. Now, burglary in Spanish is a long, complicated word. It's el escalamiento. This is based on the verb escalar, which means to climb. Burglary is el escalamiento. Or you can also hear robo domicilio or robo domiciliario, robo de domicilio, a house robbery. Domicilio, house, domicile, house. Robo de domicilio, house robbery. Robbery in Spanish is assault. Asalto, especially if it's an armed robbery or a strong arm robbery. Armed robbery is asalto armado. Now the word assault, like as we think of it in English, to assault someone like an assault and battery would be una agresión física in Spanish. Agresión física, or agredir, as we'll see in some of the examples. Agredir is to hit somebody in a criminal way. Like there's a friendly way to do it. Agredir, to hit someone. Now, assault armado, there are certain arms that we use, and mala gente often have arms. Arms in Spanish is las armas. And arms, as we talk about our physical arms, our extremities, los brazos, los brazos. Now, there's a category of arms in Spanish that we don't have that doesn't really exist in English, and this is non-firearms, I call it, armas blancas. Generally means knives or machetes or something like that, stabbing instruments, but it can also be like a screwdriver or even a bottle can be an arma blanca, non-firearms. When we talk about a knife, the feminine, la cuchilla means a smaller knife or a blade, it can also mean. El cuchillo is a bigger knife. Bad kitty. A bigger knife, el cuchillo. Bow and arrow, my favorite weapon, is el arco y la flecha. Flecha is always an arrow, la flecha. Arco, always a bow, even in a violin bow, arco. Arco is always also an arch, arco. A police baton here in Puerto Rico is This is wrong. It should be la maceta, la maceta, la maceta. Ow! Firearms, bang, bang. Firearms, armas de fuego. Fuego, fire, armas de fuego. Firearms. Rifle, same thing, just pronounced differently, rifle. Pistol, everybody knows it from the Italian gangster movies. It's the same in Italian, pistola. Here in the street, you'll hear people say la nueve, the 9, la 45. Also, el revolver. Especially older people might say el revolver, which is revolver, but they mean pistol. It doesn't matter if it's automatic or not. Machine gun is another long and complicated and difficult to say word in Spanish. Ametralladora, you hardly ever hear it. When we talk about automatic weapons in Spanish, we'll just use the initials for it, like the AK-47, we call it el AK, el AR, the IR-19. Now, the ultimate sophisticated weapon, the fighter jet. The fighter jet in Spanish is el avión cazador, cazador. This means hunter. El cazador is the hunter. Cazador, the Z is always an S sound in America. Avión is always airplane. A smaller aircraft can be called avioneta, una avioneta. Bombing in Spanish is el bombardment, bombardeo, bombardeo. And for a bomb to explode, una bomba, bomba is bomb. To explode is not explotar, is estallar, when we talk about a violent explosion. Explotar means to exploit in Spanish. Unless we're talking about bubbles or something like that, you can say explotar burbujas, explode bubbles. But a violent explosion, especially a bomb, is estallamiento. El estallamiento. Murder! Murder in Spanish is asesinar. Asesinar. Asesinar, to assassinate. A murderer is el asesino or la asesina if it's a female. And we can also hear el matón in Puerto Rican Spanish in the street, which means a killer, especially if it's a very heinous killing or if it's a multiple offender, el matón, big killer. Matar is to kill, matar. Matador doesn't mean murderer, it means bullfighter, killer, matador. Like the wonderful AMC product from the 70s, the Matador. Murderer, el asesino. Now rape. Rape in Spanish is violación, la violación, violation. If you just say la violación, you're talking about sexual assault. If you don't put any adjectives after it, like to say a violation of the law or a violation of the building ordinance, violación. If you just say violación, we're talking about sexual assault. Sexual assault is the same as asalto sexual, asalto sexual. Child molester. Child molester, we have to say pedophile in Spanish, which is el pedófilo, el pedófilo. And child molestation, we say abuso sexual de menores, sexual abuse of minors, abuso sexual de menores or de niños, or of children. Because the verb molest, although it has some very negative sexual abuse connotations to it in English, simply means to bother someone in Spanish, molestar. No me molestes, don't bother me, no me molestes. Kidnap, kidnap. A kidnapping is un secuestro. To kidnap, the verb is secuestrar. This is related to sequester, like a jury in English, a sequestered jury. For kidnapping, you might hear the word raptar for a verb, raptar, or rapto, which means, implies it's more of a violent kidnapping, And finally, con artist or scammer in Spanish is estafador. Estafar is the verb to con someone or to deceive them, estafador. And another word that I wanted to mention is carjacking. Carjacking, here in Puerto Rico, we use Spanglish. We call it kayaking, kayaking. And this sounds exactly like another Spanglish word that we use in tourism here in Puerto Rico, and that's kayaking, which is really pronounced kayaking, kayaking. The only difference is a slight R pronounced, as most people who are familiar with Puerto Rican Spanish know, our R's down here can sound like an L or a Y too. Kayaking, kayaking. This almost sounds phonetically the same, but there is a slight difference. Well, stay tuned for the second part. I hope you learned something about mala gente in this video. We'll be taking a look at some more bad people in the second video. Have a great day.